Dominic Breazeale is suggesting that Deontay Wilder is a one-dimensional fighter, a guy who does the same thing over and over and over again, hoping to hit lightning in a bottle with his right hand. His approach is unsophisticated. That's what Dominic Breazeale appears to be saying. He is critical of Deontay Wilder's performance against Tyson Fury. He says that, I'm gonna quote him directly here, Wilder did the same thing over and over like he's done in his last 4 or 5 fights for his last 4 or 5 years. It's throw the 1-2 and hope and pray that the right hand lands eventually. You know, there were some things I learned from the fight, as well as some things that I've continuously seen over and over, time and time again. Now, yeah, Deontay Wilder does do the same thing time and time again, over and over again. He looks for the big right hand, he throws the 1-2. But I think Dominic Breazeale is underestimating how effective that is. He is acting as though it's just pot luck that Deontay Wilder keeps landing this right hand. And maybe there is an element of it being the law of averages. But I also think it's not just that, okay? Because against Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder missed a lot of punches. But against someone like Gerald Washington or Luis Ortiz, Deontay Wilder didn't miss that many punches. Deontay Wilder, even though he is, some would say, a one-trick pony. I'm not sure I would go that far, but, you know, some say he's a one-trick pony. That is a hell of a trick, as Paulie Malignaggi likes to say. One hell of a trick. And the way he lands the right hand, it takes skill. It does take skill. There is a lot of big men out there who can hit extremely hard, but they're not WBC World Heavyweight Champion. So even though Wilder's technique looks sloppy and clumsy at times, he knows when to throw the right hand in most fights. I think against Tyson Fury, there was a lot more emotion there than there should have been, and he needed to rein that emotion in. Against a Luis Ortiz or a Gerald Washington or a lot of other Deontay Wilder fights, there wasn't as much emotion, and therefore he wasn't wasting as many punches. He was a lot more clinical in terms of his mindset and his approach. And in those fights, there is skill. It takes skill to land the right hand. You're watching your opponent's movements. You're seeing what he does when you move a certain way or when you feint a certain way. You're seeing which punches he throws in what sequence. And you start to learn. You gradually start to figure out after a few rounds, okay, I'm going to try the right hand this way this time. I'm going to wait until he does this, then I'm going to throw it. That is the thought process going on in a fighter's mind. Same goes for Deontay Wilder. He does figure out eventually how he's going to catch you with the right hand. It might not be quick in terms of, it might not happen in the first couple rounds, but at some point he's going to figure out how to land the right hand. And it's not just law of averages, keep throwing and eventually it's going to land. Against Tyson Fury, it was more the law of averages, yes. And it was more Tyson Fury slowing down in the later rounds and being more stationary for Wilder to clip him. But in the other fights I've mentioned, it wasn't really that. It was just Deontay Wilder figuring out when he could land the shot and then lowering the boom and bang. It gets in there. So I think Dominic Breazeale would be wise to not underestimate Deontay Wilder's skill with the right hand, and also the effectiveness of Deontay Wilder's jab, because I do think he's got an underrated jab. I've seen some people, a minority, but some people picking Dominic Breazeale to actually beat Wilder. I certainly wouldn't count it out completely. Dominic Breazeale can punch. He's very big. He's very tough. He's definitely going to give it his all. This is not a guy who's going to come lay down or try to get a win by disqualification like Tom Schwartz did against Senad Gashi. No, this is a guy who's going to come to really give it a go. He's been knocked down in fights and he's got up to win before. We saw that against Amir Mansour. We saw that against Izu Ugono. He likes to push forward, apply pressure, pin you on the ropes. I actually saw a very good analysis of this fight, a fight preview by Paulie Malignaggi. I can't remember which YouTube channel it was on. It was one of the major networks, their YouTube channel. I'm not sure if it was BT or whether it was... No, it wouldn't have been BT, would it? It would be Sky, sorry. It was either Sky or perhaps it was a Fox, because it's going to be shown on... No, is it Showtime or Fox that are showing the fight? I forget now. So it was one of those. It was either Fox, Showtime, or maybe Sky. And yeah, Malignaggi's breakdown and pre-fight analysis was excellent. And he was talking about the way Breazeale tends to fight. He likes to back you up and put pressure on you and all that kind of business. And I said in a previous video, Breazeale needs to keep it simple if he's going to win this fight. Particularly early. He needs to keep it simple, throw straight punches, keep a tight guard, and don't give away anything too early. Because Deontay Wilder is very sharp in the early rounds. He will catch you. But keep it simple and apply steady pressure and get Deontay Wilder to exert a lot of energy. And when he's exerting a lot of energy just trying to keep you away and you're blocking most of his shots and you're applying steady pressure, Deontay might start mentally fatiguing at that point, where your jabs can start landing more, where you eventually might be able to pin him on the ropes and do some damage. And there's no question in my mind that Dominic Breazeale has the power to hurt, drop, and maybe even stop Deontay Wilder. No question in my mind. But then again, Wilder's got the power to do the same to him. It's who gets their big shot on target first. And I still think that Deontay Wilder will be the guy to land his big shot before Breazeale lands. That's my suspicion, because Wilder is just so much faster. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the game plan that Dominic Breazeale comes up with, particularly now that he's with Virgil Hunter. But I suspect it won't be enough to win him the fight and become the WBC World Heavyweight Champion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's Hamming them out.
Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.